pleasant good evening to you all, fans from around the world. We are getting ready for live action between the West Indies and South Africa in virtually a quarter final in the T20 World Cup 2024 here in the West Indies, co-hosted by the United States of America. Should be a cracking match later on tonight. We are here to preview that match for you. Want to welcome our viewers from all over the world, from India, New Zealand, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Australia, New Zealand, and Saudi Arabia, the United States, England, Canada, Jamaica here, and in the rest of the Caribbean. A beautiful good evening and good morning, and whatever the time is in your part of the world. Pleasant good day to you all, and we welcome you and thank you for joining us this evening for this preview show. I have alongside with me here the Honorary Secretary of the Cricket Hall of Fame, also a cricket analyst with us here at the Development Academy, and also he is our consultant here at the Development Academy. I have also, per usual, the Executive Chair of the Cricket Hall of Fame, Michael Chambers, and as you know, I am your host, Junior Codlin, and the Cricket Hall of Fame is our main sponsor for this cricket show. A pleasant good evening to you, Mr. Dale Brown. Your opening thoughts, and then Mr. Chambers after you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Codlin. Greetings to everyone, all our viewers, and good evening, Mr. Chambers. Respect to you, sir. And I'm happy to be here discussing the preview of the West Indies matchup against South Africa this evening.
Mr. Chambers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Mr. Codlin, Mr. Brown. It's a pleasure to be here this evening to preview the West Indies versus South Africa. This is going to be a very interesting match because I am thinking whoever wins will definitely go through to the
semi-final.
Semi-finals. So we are here to look at what West Indies should do to be able to defeat South Africa.
Definitely, Mr. Chambers. Thank you for your thoughts. As we dive into it this evening, we don't have a lot of time because the viewers will be awaiting the game that will start shortly with West Indies and South Africa. It is virtually a quarter final because whoever wins tonight, no matter run rate or what, will join England as the second team from this group to be in the semi-final of this World Cup. For England to not reach the semi-final of this World Cup, the game between them and the US, we apologize for the internet issue there. For England not to reach the semi-final, the game with them and the US had to be rained out, and from all report that was not the case. England won and win comfortably to book their place in the semi-final after beating the West Indies. This is what Ruston Chase said after the brilliant game against the United States of America. Mike Chambers, the message is loud and clear. It is our destiny to win this World Cup. We want teams to know that they have to beat us to win this World Cup. Your thoughts on that?
No, and that's a good statement. That's setting your mind in the right place. You have to want this match now to win. Both all the teams that are find themselves in this position are talented, but like we say in mind power training, it's 20
Um, Mr. Chambers, could you go back over that as we had internet issue and none of our viewers heard what you said. So if you could just recap so they can hear. We apologize, viewers, for the internet issue that we're having now. Mr. Chambers, please go ahead and the message from Chase to the other teams.
Right. Now, what Mr. Chase is saying, he's correct. The team must now be very confident. They now hold their destiny. They have their destiny in their hands. So we know that success is 20% talent and 80% focus. So they have to be focused on winning all the games that they're going to be playing going forward. So it's definitely mind power. They have to have their minds set, focused on winning. So yes, I totally agree with his statement. He must make a statement that we are the champions and they must now play like champions.
Absolutely. Mr. Brown, your thoughts on what Ruston Chase said the other night, that teams has to beat West Indies to win this World Cup because it is the destiny of West Indies to win this World Cup and to win it at home. Your thoughts on that?
Yes, what Mr. Chase has said is what I would expect him to say. He is one of those players who seem as if he has a calm mind and will perform at his best during the game. I expect his teammates to listen to what he says and understand that they should be very confident, full of confidence. We have the batsmen, we have the depth in our batting, and we should rely on it because I don't think our bowlers will win the match for us. It will be the batsmen who will do it, and Mr. Chase as one of the main bowlers in that squad because he has now proven himself to be that. I am happy to hear him say the right things, the things that you would expect a winner to be saying prior to the match.
Brian Lara and Kent cricket just after the marvelous game with the West Indies and the United States, where we send a clear message to the US. Um, Brian Lara was calling for the head of Ruston Chase. Don't you think that Brian Lara is unfair in calling for a player that was questioned coming into this World Cup, but would have proven himself over and over that he belongs in the 11 and he belongs at this stage, and he's not just there by the chief selector, but he really worked to be here at the World Cup, and he has proven that so far. You, Mr.
Yes,
Brown, and
absolutely.
then Mr. Chambers. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Ruston Chase is our second most accurate bowler, second most economical bowler. And he takes wickets. He doesn't buy wickets. He takes
Absolutely.
wickets with good deliveries. Now he hasn't had many chances. I think he only batted twice during this World Cup so far. So we can't go by the amount of runs he scored or anything. But he has shown himself to be an excellent fielder, which is very crucial in the T20 format, in any format, but especially the T20. And his all-round, the true value of his all-round abilities must be appreciated. And with respect to what Mr. Lara said, whether or not it is true, it is bad timing now for him to come out and say it, because if Chase hears him say this, that he's a part-time bowler, Chase is looking for him to back him up and say he's a good T20 bowler at the very least. So I was a bit, I didn't expect Mr. Lara to come out and make a statement like that about Mr. Chase.
Mr. Chambers, don't you think that the former West Indies captain and former world record holder in Test cricket should be sending and showing a lot of praise on a team that really needs it against South Africa?
An article came out from Carlisle Best spilling the beans on how the different captains from the different islands treated Cricket West Indies team. So I am not troubled by what Brian Lara said. What I am troubled about is that he does not understand that by at this stage of the game, making a statement like that about Chase can only hurt Chase because Brian Lara is an icon. And for you know a player to hear an icon calling you a part-time bowler when you are bowling your heart out instead of like Brother Dale just said, backing him up now, even if you believe it, wait till the end of the series. And he might be pleasantly surprised that West Indies might win. Then he would be stupid to make such a statement out in public. So I totally disagree with him making this statement at this time. His timing is off.
Yeah, because when the Indian journalist heard him said that, the journalist said, Lara, who would you replace Rastan Chase with? Because he was calling for Maya to come into the team. But who did Maya come in for? Because Maya was picked on the basis of finishing a game, and that's where the youngster in Sheffield, Rutherford, who have played magnificently well in this World Cup, is batting and bearing injury to um, bearing injury to Sheffield Rutherford. Then Sherman Etmaya can't play. Etmaya has gotten his chances and never take them with both hands. And when the journalist said, Laura, he his defense was he has played this game, so he knows what he's talking about. Is that strong enough to counter the foolish arguments that he's putting forward, Mr. Chambers?
No, I am not going to call his opinion and comments foolish for what he's saying. I am saying it's foolish for him to be making those statements at this time. Because I remember Courtney Ambrose made a statement about Brother Chris Gayle once. And when it filtered out, it totally destroyed how Chris Gayle's confidence level was affected. So we have to be careful, but these fellows are not taught the mind power techniques, emotional intelligence. You have to know how what you are saying is going to affect the other person. So at this point in time, like Brother Dale says, we would expect Lara to be backing up. We can criticize who the selectors are going to select. You should not play it like I have it that I would not be picking Charles. However, he's in the team the night before the game. You're going to say, okay, if they picked him, I hope he does well. So whatever he said, he should have backed it up with the fact that the gentleman, Mr. Chase, is bowling very well. But you can't just leave an open-ended thing as if to say the guy is a nobody. I kind of heard the statement and I thought he said he was not a first-class bowler or something like that.
Lara is completely wrong from our angle here. Ruston Chase is a West Indian player and one that is very economical. And but Mr. Chambers and then to Mr. Brown, how pleasing are you that you have called for the inform Sheo, and he did deliver the other night, and he delivered in strong fashion. As you speak on the West Indies ODI captain, and now the West Indies opening batter in T20 internationals, will play the slideshow on the screen while you talk through the elegance of this great player for the West Indies, Sheo.
You see, my problem was that I didn't see confidence in Charles. He made a lot of runs, 40-odd runs, but he was dropped maybe 3 times in the effort. And I could see where his batting with Brendan King was disruptive to Brendan King, because like I always explain, if I am at one end batting and the other person down at the other end is facing and he's making a whole lot of mistakes, bad shots, missing the ball, it's going to upset my spirit. So I was reading from day one, from get-go, I was looking at that spirit. And I know that based on how Shea Hope bats at the crease, he would make a good partner for Brendan King. And so I was saying both spirits matched. Charles, at another day, if he could get his nerves calm and relaxed, he would be a very good opener. But until that happens, that is where I was looking at another competent person coming in, and the only person I saw who could come in to take that place was Shea Hope.
How impressed are you, Mr. Brown, with Sheo batting the other night?
Very impressed, sir. Shea Hope is a technically sound batsman, and if you notice, he scores his runs using, for the most part, orthodox shots. And he will use his feet to get into position, and then he strokes the ball. He doesn't hit across the line very much like what the others are supposed to do. Life works itself out, you know. We were, and more so my fellow panelists at the time, were all asking for Hope to be in the team. So, in place of Charles. So they would not replace Charles and put him in. Well, it so happens that King went down and forced them to use him. And this is the end result of it all. So you cannot keep a good man down. You may have one door closed on him, but another door is going to open, and it won't be the way you expect it to open that it will open. And the elegant, graceful power that he exhibited, because he's not a big man, but his timing of the ball is more excellent. And about he's going, nobody looks as good as he does. So I'm very happy for him. And by the way, sir, his half century is the fastest ever by a West Indian batsman in the world, in the 220 World Cup. Nobody has scored a faster half century than him.
Absolutely. West Indies needed to win the game in 14.5 overs to have a run rate that goes over South Africa to stand a chance of going to the semi-final once they have taken care of South Africa. And Shea Hope set the pace to really hurt the United States, where that batting performance was concerned. He single-handedly got West Indies home. Would you agree with that?
Yes, definitely. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, definitely. He did that. And I was not pleased with the way Mr. Charles got out, but I was happy because it brought in Pooran. And I don't know if Charles had stuck around for much longer if he would have been able to achieve that feat, because Pooran came in and really did some serious batting himself, which Johnson Charles has not shown that he's capable of scoring at that rate. He's our lowest as far as run rate is concerned. He is our worst where it comes on to scoring quickly, by far.
Mr. Chambers, um, with the poor batting so far and playing all the games, do you think that a returning Kyle Mears should now take the place of Johnson Charles, who is a bit tired to be frank and to be honest, and Kyle Mears now being approved and can play in this game. Do you think the coach and the captain should take a gamble on him tonight and allow him to play and give the West Indies a better chance against South Africa, and bearing that Charles average is in the 60s against South Africa, but at the moment now being very worn from the games that he had played so far, would you change him now and bring in Kyle Mears, who is ready and waiting in the wings?
No, Kyle Mears is a bowler, right?
No, Kyle Mears is an opening batter.
No, I know, but he can bowl, right?
Absolutely.
He's an all-rounder, yes.
He's an all-rounder.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. So now I was establishing that fact because if I was going to replace Charles with Hope, and now Hope is in without the replacement, then I would bring in this other player to replace Charles, because if he's an open bat and he can do me some open bowling if he's required to, then I would be now strengthening not only the batting lineup,
but the bowling
lineup.
Yes.
And not only that now, my mental status of the team, my mental fortitude throughout the team now is consistent.
Absolutely.
Because if he's batting with Hope, both of them would be comparable to a good pair opening bat.
Your thoughts, Mr. Brown? Are you there, Mr. Brown? All right. It seems as if
Go ahead.
Mr. Brown is there.
Yes, Brother Codlin, I'm back.
Yes, your thoughts on the possibility of Kyle Mears replacing a tired Johnson Charles at this stage in the World Cup?
If Mayers in fact replace him, because I believe that Mayers should have been in the original 15 from the beginning, and he is proven, and he's an all-round cricketer, good fielder, useful bowler, and the type of bowler that would be successful in the World Cup if used properly. So I would love to see him in the team. And I would also go out on a limb and say, if Hetmeyer, if they believe Hetmeyer is that good, let him go out and open with Hope. I would not mind seeing that at all.
At this critical juncture in a must-win game.
Yes, because at least Hetmeyer has. I'm not calling for him. It's either him or Mayers. The only thing with Mayers is that he was not part of the squad for a week or 2 weeks now, whereas Hetmeyer is there with the team.
Yeah.
So he would have been practicing in the nets with them and doing whatever, and he has the experience. However, Mayers would add to the batting without lessening the bowling, because he would actually make the bowling deeper. And if anybody comes out and having an off day or whatever, off night, he could bowl a couple of overs.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so my first pick is definitely Mayers. Out of the box, why not throw Hetman there? Because he cannot be worse than Charles is. Charles is scoring at just barely over about 112. On his strike rate is about 113. So he's not doing very well.
Yeah.
He will have the runs to back up himself, but not the strike rate, and it is the strike rate that matters.
Yeah, let's bring some of our comments on here. We have record numbers of viewers that are watching us at this moment. We want to take this opportunity to welcome you all to the West Indies Cricket Development Academy channel. Please subscribe and share this stream. Also like the stream as well, and please think about making a donation to our academy by calling the number that you will see shortly on your screen. Let's read some of the comments right at the top here. Samu said, best wishes for Windies. Hope Windies players cherish us by playing good cricket. And AB, yes, Edmire got fair chances and fail. Yes, Chase is a part-time developing to be like Akil and Muti who has ranking. Um, as well as Abir once again said, how much is Chase ranking ODIR 2020? Lara is correct. So somebody's correcting with Lara there. And Chase is no batsman. Let's don't forget that. We would not agree with that because he has a few centuries well against some top teams in Test cricket. And Abby once again, yes, Kyle Mears replaces Charles and Edmire in the semi-final, and so forth there. So that's the comment. But generally, the viewers are, you know, having their thoughts along with what we are saying here as it regards to admire. Mr. Chambers, would you agree with your fellow panelists in Mr. Brown in saying that admire must be given an opportunity now if he's that good
No, no, I totally agree that we have to give him a chance at some point.
in this
So
game?
and this will be the game to bring him in. But who are we going to replace? Are we going to drop Chase? Now we're bringing up Myers as an opener. Which way would we want to go? You know. So the selectors are going to have to sit and make a tough decision within the next. Well, they probably have already made it because the game is tonight. So we will see what the decision is.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, brother Dave.
Oh no, I was just shaking my head in agreement with what you were saying.
Okay. It's going to be a tough pick, you know. And the only reason why they would bring up Myers is because they're going to play him. I don't think they bring him because they're going to put him on the bench, you know. So I think that's where we are right now.
Yeah, and you're saying that if they were to pick Kyle Mears, it would be a good decision. That's what you want to go on record by saying.
Yes, for me, definitely yes.
Yes,
Because I thought he should be in the squad from the beginning, and he should have been the opening batsman with Brandon King from the beginning.
All right, let's hear what Abby is saying again. If Charles is out of form, then use Edmire. If he fails with the bat, then he can give something with the ball. I'm not sure. Edmire is not a bowler. I'm not sure I agree with you with that. Um, Good evening. This is Sherwin. Good evening. There are no selectors in picking the starting 11. The captains who picks the starting this with help from the coach. So Sherwin is trying to say there that the selectors don't pick the starting 11th. Always the captain and the coach that does that. But the coach the coach and the captain should make sure that Charles is tired. The world sees that. I don't know how much more Charles can give. He's tired. Charles is not young. Charles is the oldest member of the team. Remember the first team that wins the 2012 World Cup? Charles was in that team. Charles was out of the team until Darren Sammy took over. That's when he comes back. Abby there was saying sorry. So he did not mean Etmaya, he mean Mears. So he's saying that um replacing Johnson Charles with Mears would be the right decision. So Mr. Chambers and Mr. Brown, he fully agrees with you where that is concerned. As we look on the scene here, you will see Obey Mackay. How pleased were you that Obey Mackay was brought back in place of Shepherd?
Is that for me, sir?
Go ahead.
I was pleased that they brought him back, but I was disappointed with how he bowled because he was extremely expensive in his first over, and they held him back and didn't bring him back for a second over until way late. And he just didn't. He seemed tight, and maybe it's because he hadn't maybe all of the dramatics and drama surrounding him getting picked, and the fact that the coach in his capacity of selector and the captain in his capacity as selector, they were pressured into picking Mr. McCoy for him to be in that 11. But I thought he bowled, he was either too full or too short. But I expect him to bowl much better tonight.
Mr. Chambers?
We have to once again look at the emotional intelligence piece of the thing. You brought him in and he bowled very well. Then Shepherd comes back, you bench him and you bring in Shepherd. Then Shepherd didn't perform, now you're bringing him back. That's playing with someone's emotion, and in such a case, unless the team, that's what I'm saying, the manager is the person who is going to be able to sit him down and coax him. Why did we not play you 2 games in a row? But as soon as Shepherd came back, we put Shepherd in your place. Those questions have to be answered in players' minds before you can go forward. And I think that's why the fellow was not able to perform in his second go around.
Yeah, because
emotionally drained.
Yeah, he was suffering from some insecurity there.
Yes.
Absolutely. Point well taken.
Yeah.
Yes. Mr. Brown, did you want to say something, or you agree with Mr. Chambers in that assessment?
100%. You had to sit him down and explain to him, listen, we gave this gentleman the time off to be with his child. We made the decision that we are going to bring him back regardless of how well you performed. This is not an indictment about your performance, but we want to keep our word to this man. Whatever it is they want to tell him, but at least he would be comfortable. And when he gets his chance, he wouldn't feel like his persons like us that force them to bring him back into the team. Because Mr. Sammy was saying, we did the right thing. He should not have played. He didn't deserve to play. Those are the things Sammy said. We made the right decision. Captain Rovman Powell said the same thing. We made the right decision. He didn't deserve to play. And I think that, to Mr. Chambers' point, that cannot be, that is damaging to the young man's psyche.
It's very much damaging. Let's go back in our comments here, because it's a war of words where the comments are concerned. some people are saying that Chase is a good batter. That's picking up from our earlier conversation because he has test centuries, and that's very, very correct there. Let's look at this. Is that it's always good to have a left arm bowler. Akil showed how valuable a left arm bowler can be. Obey McCoy will perform better tonight. We take that. Um, we absolutely take that. Let's look up here. What Pastor is saying here. Pastor OC. What are you saying? Etma is not a bowler. We need aggressive all rounders for this South African side because they have aggressive players themselves. Right. That's correct. And let's look here. Lynch. Ranking is almost irrelevant. Joseph had no ranking and destroyed Australia earlier in the year. Your thoughts on that, Mr. Brown?
It's in the given moment. What happened yesterday doesn't count. It helps the player with their confidence, but each time they go out, they have to prove themselves. Um, Chase, given the opportunity, even though many persons might not have been, I don't see him as a number 4 batsman, but his bowling is very crucial. When he gets that ball, he doesn't let you down. It don't matter who he's bowling against. It doesn't matter which champion batsman he's bowling against. He's going to bowl well against that batsman, and that is what you want. The consistency, and that consistency. If you look at Chase, he is not easily ruffled. You very rarely see him ruffled. Why? Because he has a calm mind. You don't see him jumping up and down all over the place, but he's calm and efficient in how he goes about his business.
Following,
Excellent fielder, good bowler in the 2020 format.
following Mr. Chambers, calm and collective. Mr. Chambers, Abby agrees with you. Yes, it was a terrible decision. They need to justify what they did to Etmaya. I'm not sure this person meant Etmaya, but I think this person meant Obey McCoy. And Sherwin here said that he's going to upset the most Jamaicans. I will drop Russell for tonight game. We need real fast bowlers for tonight game. I'm not sure the pitch is calling for a genuine fast bowler at this moment because it's in Antigua and the soil is not conducive to fast bowling. And I'm sure when your Chase is in a sure pick, he's our best 4 bats based on how quick wickets are falling. He's our test batsman against spin. Your thoughts, Mr. Chambers, on some of these comments and the importance of um, you know the managers justifying what they are doing in terms of selection because it has been a sore point in West Indies cricket over the years. And just before you come in here, another comment is Johnson Charles need to be dropped tonight. Although he has 100 against this opponent, I believe Kyle Mears and Sheo should be the openers. Through one game can't prove our class of an act. The Millennium, the Shane Warne, the Chamenda Vals, Brett Lee, Shane Bunn, and more. Lara knows class bowlers. Your thoughts, Mr. Chambers?
Let me take the piece about dropping Russell for tonight.
Yes.
I thought about him not performing. I don't know where he's batting so far down. But what I do know is that his reputation goes in front of him.
That's right.
So the batsmen who are batting to Russell will think twice before they take a chance. And the bowlers bowling to Russell will think twice before they bowl to him. So he is a double-edged sword where even though he might not be performing the way he used to, but his opponents are scared of him. So I would keep him in the team for the fear factor. I wouldn't try to dislodge him from tonight's game. I would use him as a fear factor, the unknown element. And this might be the night that he's going to come good.
Absolutely. Mr. Brown, the South Africa is not a good at batting the real fast bowling. That's what Sherwin was saying to back up his earlier point. And Roger, now the West Indies are averaging over 50 dot balls per game in this World Cup. They need to get at least 20 singles from those 50 dot balls. Being a deep thinker and a deep analyst where statistic is concerned, Mr. Brown, Honorary Secretary of the Cricket Hall of Fame, which is our main sponsor. You will see it up on our screen shortly. Your response to Roger and those comments.
Yes, well, in terms of the dot balls, that is a very, very, very serious problem for the West Indies, and it has been like that for quite a long time. And those dot balls, they usually come back to hurt you, unless you get a performance from like what Puran had or Shea Hope had in the last game. You don't want to have more than say 25, between 25 and 30% of the balls being dot balls, because you have to give the bowlers credit, and they will bowl some ball deliveries that you're not going to make runs off of them. But you don't want more than about 25. The game that we're talking about, when they had the 50 odd dot balls, that represented like 46% of the deliveries. That is not a good percentage. But the last match, they had around 28% of the deliveries were in fact dot balls. And so they have to improve on that. They really have to rotate the strike, and that's where somebody like a Shea Hope comes in, because he's very skillful at when the ball make contact with the bat, he uses just his wrist to then direct the ball to where he wants it to go, as opposed to the other players just swinging and the ball ended up wherever. You know, Hope is more manipulating the bowling and the deliveries that he receives. So I expect to see a big improvement with that, and if he stays there for any length of time, he will have West Indies scoring quickly. As far as the fast bowling is concerned, Russell is not going anywhere. Him and Joseph will handle, and McCoy, I expect, to handle the fast bowling duties, but the spinners must get their full quota of overs. I believe 12 overs must be bowled by those spinners. The other 8 should be divided between Alzaro Joseph, Russell, and McCoy. McCoy. That's how I see it. If they try to go with a lot of pace, they may get hurt. The South Africans, outside of Quinton de Kock, he's the only one that scores at a strike rate that will give you concern. The rest of them, believe it or not, sir, their strike rate is not as high as Johnson Charles. I will repeat that. Outside of de Kock, none of the South Africans' strike rate is higher than Johnson Charles. So if our bowlers bowl discipline, keep their line and length, don't bowl the bad balls out there, only Quinton de Kock, I believe, can sustain an attack on the bowlers to really change the course of the match.
Absolutely. Very good thoughts there, Mr. Honorary Secretary. Mike, here in the comments, Raja once again said the Windies batsmen need to look at Afghanistan opening batsmen. They picked up singles running between the wickets. Chase, where I'm seeing here. I'm kind of messed up on one part of the comment there. Um, let's go back over. The Windies batsmen need to look at Afghanistan opening batsman. They picked up singles running between the wickets. Case in point, last night game against Australia. Did you watch that game, Mr. Chambers? It was a remarkable game indeed.
Yes, I did watch that game, sir. I
Your
watched
comment, your
it
comments on your
twice.
comments on the your comments on the comment that Roger make and how West Indies can incorporate that into tonight's game.
All right. I am one of those, because I'm a big fellow who's not in favor of taking singles. Now, I listened to what Brother Pollard told the Englishman. You take 8 from one over and 12 from the other over. That's 20 runs. That would give you 200 runs if you use that philosophy. All right. So I'm not saying to use that philosophy. What I'm saying, if the West Indian batsmen go out with a plan, you have to have a plan. You watch those guys playing last night, you could see, because they were strong, they were almost, 2 run outs when they were diving, trying to get back. They were running everything. That's good, because they were young, they were fit. If these guys who are coming into bat, the West Indian players, if they believe that they have the stamina to do that, go ahead. But it's also comfortable to have a plan. If I get 8 out of this over, and what is 8? 8 runs. 2 fours where I place the ball, I select my shots. Like Brother Dale is saying, these guys are just swinging, taking from off stump, going to the leg stump. Just go through the line of the ball and drive and get your 4s or get your 2s. But have a plan. 8 out of one over, 12 out of the other. 8 2 4s, 12 2 6s. But you have to have a plan. And it's obvious that up until now, we are having problems with the dot balls because these fellows are not concentrating on what they're going to do, and they're not counting the balls. If they were counting the balls, that I just got a dot ball, I cannot have another one, they would help themselves. But they're not at that point yet. I think it's coming. They will learn how to take care of the dot balls.
Stay on camera, Mr. Chambers, because I want to read this comment for you. And you always talk about Johnson Charles, so I think it's for you. West Indies batsmen also need to be less conservative. Johnson Charles at the top has batted more in test match mode. Your thoughts on that?
No, Johnson Charles has not been concentrating. And that's why he's been inconsistent. He has no consistency. So if his run rate was there, if his strike rate, that's because he is not thinking while he's batting. So he gets explosive here and then all of a sudden nothing happens. That's why I'm saying, even though you're saying he's a fellow up in age, he still has a lot to offer. All he needs to do is get his emotions intact. He gets very emotional when he's batting. You can see it if you watch him closely. So that is why I'm saying he needs to improve not his techniques, but his personal emotions. He has to get hold of how he reacts when he's batting.
What is good score on this pitch, Mr. Brown? That's a comment that will throw at you. And before you answer that, drop Charles and add Mears. And another comment from Roger. You said it. The Afghan batsmen are fit. I totally believe in rotating the strike. The bowler will have to change his approach when that happens. Mr. Chambers, that's for you and you're on camera. So just respond to Roger in agreeing with you there and where rotation is concerned and the fitness of the Afghan players. And then Mr. Brown will pick up on the first two comments.
No, and that's what I said. Afghan players were, you could see it, they are very fit. They were prepared mentally and physically. They are super to what our West Indian players are. So this is why I'm saying we don't want to force them to get run out. We don't want to force them to take the singles or take twos. If they can push through the gap and get the fours and then hit the big sixes, we're in good shape. That's what we are noted for. Not taking the singles. Afghanistan, I was enjoying it. They almost got run out twice, you know. I don't know if anybody else saw that. When the fella dived in and was sliding like he was going through snow, you know, trying to get in.
Yeah, Roger, you should make contact with us. We want to bring you on our show one of these days. And we hopefully will do a show tomorrow morning in reviewing this game. Mr. Brown, what is a good score on this pitch? And also respond to Jordan here that said drop Charles and Admirs. Your comments on those two.
Okay, will the drop Charles Admirs again, just to reiterate, for that 100%. I also feel that the left-right combination at the top will work in West Indies' favor because the bowlers will have to adjust their line and length to the left-hander and to the right-hander. So there's everything positive about making that change. West Indies have to look to score at least 190 runs on this wicket, 190 to 215. They have to score enough to give themselves a chance, a more than reasonable chance. We saw Afghanistan score less than 150, 148, and then back themselves to get out of Australia. And I think if we bat first, whatever total South Africa puts up, it is dependent on Quinton de Kock. I think everything rests on him. He's in great form, but if you can get him out early or relatively early, I think the rest of the South Africans, they may come in for over two, but they don't have that sustained assault that you would expect from them to score 200 runs against a West Indian attack, featuring Moti, Hussain, and Rastan Chase, three of the most accurate bowlers in the tournament right now.
Mr. Chambers, South Africa have a knack of closing out close games, and throughout this World Cup in New York, they won by 4 wickets there, and also against Bangladesh in New York, they won by 4 runs, and against the Netherlands in Kingstown. This Kingstown is not Jamaica; it's in St. Vincent and the Grenadines there at the Vale Cricket Ground. They won by 1 run. That was a nervy game against Nepal. And against England in Bridgetown, they won by 7 runs. So all the games that they have won, they have not been won by big margins. And in comparison to the West Indies, and based on the mental advantage that the West Indies have over them in going to South Africa and beat them, and also we host them here in Jamaica and they were whitewashed by the West Indies. Looking ahead to the South African game now, how much of a chance do you give the West Indies tonight based on the statistics that I have put out to you just now? Articulate for the viewers, how do you expect this game to turn out tonight?
Thank you, sir. It is going to be in West Indies' favor, and it's not going to be a close game if we select Myers to open with Shehu and Myers to be a part of the bowling squad. If we have that depth in bowling, so that if anything happens, we can rotate the bowling. That is what is going to upset South Africa. their informed batsman likes to take control. That's the clock, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He likes to take control from the beginning. I am believing that Hussein is going to keep him in control.
Yeah, and don't forget we have their captain Aiden Makram and also David Miller, which is very good as well. So the West Indies need to have plans for them as well. You're sure on that?
Exactly. So we have to have Hussein telling himself that he's going to get him in the first 2 overs.
Yes, cause he's kind of losing form. So tonight would be the best night to get back into some form. Let's look on a few more comments here, Mr. Chambers. Powell needs to be no before we go to the Powell one. South Africa batsmen perform well for all the occasion. I'm not sure there. I lost that comment. I'll get back to your comments. Forgive me there. Let's take another one. Um, South Africa batsmen perform well for all the occasion. They play against West Indies. West Indies bowlers don't take them lightly because they're underperformance. It seems quite tight competitions. Could you interpret that? It might not come out the way that, but based on what you heard me read, just interpret it and talk to the person in the comment there, Mr. Chambers.
Well, I guess what he's saying to us is that the South African batsman is not one man going and making 100. They are saying that everybody is underperforming, but they're performing. So that's why they're coming to close finishes.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
However, the West Indian bowlers can keep them in check.
Yeah. And Mr. Brown, they comment that Powell, Jordan here, Powell needs to be smarter with his bowling change. Your thoughts on that? And before that, Roger said again, the dynamics of T20 cricket is that you need to score at every possibility. The wind is tight. Tried that bashing style of play against New Zealand, and it was Rutherford that saved Windies with a sensible approach. Your thoughts, Mr. Brown, and then we'll take a few more comments, and then unfortunately we'll have to pack our bags and go as we are running out of time and we need to get ready for the game. But Mr. Brown, go ahead.
Yeah. And the first comment was about who again, sir?
Powell, this is Jordan, right? Powell.
Powell at the bowling attack.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yes. From the very first game, I thought that Ravman Powell, he kept giving people 1 over, 1 over, 1 over. Nobody got into a rhythm. And as a result of that, we saw Papua New Guinea, they're not supposed to score 100 runs against the West Indies. But because of his constant changing, didn't even bowl out, Hussein didn't even bowl his quota of overs. And I was very concerned about that with him. I've seen some improvement with him again, but even in this last game here, Hussein didn't bowl out his overs. Moti didn't bowl out his overs, in the last match that we played. And I think he has to make sure that the spinners each of them get their 4 overs unless one of them is bowling so badly. Because Hussein is still our most accurate bowler, followed by Rust and Chase and Moti. And you have to use them because all these teams seem to have problems getting away with the spinners, scoring heavily against them consistently. It's the faster bowlers that they go to work on. And that's where they pick up, a lot of runs against the faster bowlers. So I would like to see him improve in that regard. And just one aside, I forgot to mention, South Africa played on that ground earlier against the United States, I believe.
Yeah.
And they scored 194 runs against the US. West Indies
which was a close game.
It was a close game.
Yeah.
So if the US can score 170 odd against them, then the West Indies really, with our batters, shouldn't have a problem scoring 215 against them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Um,
the other thing to consider is that going way back, West Indies is not this ground is not a happy hunting ground for the West Indies for
yeah,
whatever reason. We have
yeah,
never scored 150 runs on that pitch. So hopefully nobody reminds them about it and that they will go out there and just do what they have to do because we have the capability of doing it.
yeah, yeah. The dynamics are very true in your assessments there. Mr. Chambers, we're gonna look on a few more comments here, which I'll ask you to respond to, and you know, I mean, we're gonna have to start having an interaction segment here because we have a lot of viewers this evening and a lot of comments coming in. The fans are really enjoying this show that we're giving to them. But while you enjoy this show, fans, please seek to make a donation to our academy by calling the number that you're seeing on your screen there and ask how you can help these less fortunate cricketers that we have here. They are going to be the cricketers that we are talking about tomorrow playing for West Indies, and so you can contribute by helping them to be the best they can be. We need batting cage, and we're saying to you, contribute towards us acquiring this batting cage for our players and other essential things as is to do with them. Like and subscribe to the channel as well. We're expecting you to do so and call the number. You can email us at West Indies academy at zuzumail.com. You can type in your WhatsApp where you see Ask Meta AI or search West Indies Cricket Development Academy, and you will be able to get some information on our academy. Let's look back on some of the comments. Sherwin here. Keep it there, Sherwin. Mears is averaging less than 18 runs since 2022. He's leaking runs when he's bowling. We can't add him. And Jason said this will be my 11 Mears, Poor and Chase, Rutherford, Powell, and Russell, Joseph, Hussein, Mooti, and McCoy. We're gonna take one more, and this is from we're gonna take one more, and this is from Jaden Studios. West Indies need to negate the middle phase better in order to get 200 plus runs. Mr. Chambers, your respond to these comments and also your final comment looking forward to this very important quarter final against South Africa.
Yes, sir. Thank you again. Yeah, bringing in Myers for Charles is going to be what is necessary if we're going to score 200 to 215. But they must have a plan. And that plan is, like Polar said, somebody has to be counting the dot balls. Somebody has to be counting. If we got 2 4s, then we know the next over, it has to be 2 6s. We have to have our plan. The team that the fellow just named is a good team to go into tonight's game with.
Absolutely. Could you tell the viewers a bit about the Cricket Hall of Fame, which is the main sponsor for this academy, and these shows rather that we're putting out, and also how they can make contact. Tell them how the Hall of Fame started and how they can make contact with you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Cricket Hall of Fame is located in Hartford, Connecticut, USA. And it was started back in 1980, and we had our first induction ceremony in 1981. What we do, what the Hall of Fame does, it's the first of its kind in the world, the first Cricket Hall of Fame in the world. We select those persons who have devoted time to the development of cricket in the US and in the international circle. Those countries that play first class cricket for a long time and have statistics, have records, then players and officials get inducted when they are nominated by individuals who can tell us and send us stats. In the United States, we go by administrative work, what the person have done for helping to develop cricket. Those nominations come in, we select the inductees, and October 5th this year is when we're having an induction ceremony in Hartford, Connecticut, October 5th. However, every first Saturday in October is the date of the induction ceremonies. So persons sending names, we select them, we get sponsors, and then we bring those persons to Hartford, Connecticut. The inductees must show up in Hartford to be inducted. You can find us on www.crickethof.org. If you look on our website, you'll see a lot about us, or you can call us on WhatsApp 860-250-2796. That's how you get in touch with us. If you want to nominate somebody, you give me a call, text me, and then we will show you what to do to get that person inducted into the Cricket Hall of Fame. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Mr. Brown, your final comments as we seek to draw up to tonight's show.
Yes, thank you, sir. Very, of course, saying it is a big match is the understatement of the year. Extremely important match for the West Indies. It's important that we win this game, and I expect the big time players to step up and to produce big time, to step up to the plate. And those who are good bowlers, great bowlers, this is an opportunity for you to make a name for yourself or to add to your legacy and go down in West Indies cricket annals as one of the great performers. And I expect them to show out at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium in Antigua. It's a relatively small ground, and a lot of runs should be scored.
Absolutely. Mr. Chambers, just to bring you back on camera here, Sherwin is in the United States, and we hope, Sherwin, that you can make a contribution to our academy by calling that number on WhatsApp and getting in touch with you. I will also ask Mr. Chambers to come back on camera. Hear what Sherwin is saying here. What is the name of the team in Hartford? And he said, I think I played you guys about 20 years ago. You respond to Sherwin and also give him a contact so he can make contact with you.
Hi, Sherwin. There are 4 clubs in Hartford that you might have played against. West Indian Social Club, Sportsmen's Athletic Club, the Trinidad Club, the Barbadian Club. So you might have played, and then there's now the Caribbean and the ex-police. So there are a number of cricket clubs in Hartford. We have the Riverside Cricket Club that you could have played against. If you want to get in contact, send me a text, 860-250-2796, and we will make contact and we can start the discussion.
Absolutely. Here, Raja, Windies was on an unbeaten streak, and the last was Australia. Was they look tonight? It's turn to join the list. I'm not sure there because we did not play Australia in an official game, so that defeat was against England. I'm sure you're trying to say that we need and Jason Humphrey here said that we need to beat South Africa and send them home tonight. Indeed, if South Africa lose or the West Indies lose, any team lose, is certain to go home, and we hope that will not be the West Indies. And so that's it. That should be it. Mr. Chambers will be back tomorrow morning, whether West Indies win or lose, to review. We'll be back with John Melbourne, Hall of Famer, will be joining us, and recently nominated and slated to be inducted in the Cricket Hall of Fame, Mr. Dennis Heath and Leon Francis will also be joining us tomorrow morning as well. And all of you viewers that are on this stream now, we're inviting you back to join us tomorrow morning. We start at 9:30 a.m. United States time, 8:30 p.m. 8:30 a.m. I'm sorry, here in Jamaica. And from all of us here at the West Indies Cricket Development Academy, and also Michael Chambers, the executive chair of the Cricket Hall of Fame that you're seeing on your camera, and the honorary secretary, Mr. Dale Brown. It was an honor to have been able to bring you this live show, previewing the game against South Africa and what we expect from the West Indies. Roger said all the best to the West Indies, and all the best to you as well, Roger, from all of us here at the Development Academy. Michael Chambers, thank you for joining, and Mr. Dale Brown, thank you for joining, and from all of us here at the West Indies Cricket Development Academy, a pleasant good evening, and please pray and cheer for the team tonight. Goodbye for now.